covering the stories that impact your life, your town, your state, and your future. This is the Means Report with your host, Brad Means.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Means Report. We certainly appreciate you spending part of your day with us, where today we have a power-packed edition of the Means Report. We're going to catch up on what is happening across our country and right here at home with the 12th District Representative Rick Allen, now in his 6th term in Congress. Can you believe it? Plus, exciting times at Augusta University. The president of AU, Dr. Russell Keene, is with us as well. And as always, we will give you advice on how to stay in touch with the Means Report and help us get more great guests, like our first one, Congressman Rick Allen, representing Georgia's 12th Congressional District. Congressman, thanks for being here. And
thank you.
Yes, sir. Always welcome.
Right.
I can't believe this is your 6th term.
Yeah.
Is that benefiting you? I would think you're getting some seniority at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Frankly, it's been like a blink of the eye because it's been so much change. And I serve on the Energy and Commerce Committee, which controls about 80% of the economy. Wow. And I am the vice chair of the Communications and Technology Committee, which deals with...
I was going to say, we need you.
Yes, exactly. FCC and all the broadcasts and cell phone and you name it. And then, of course, remain on the Education and Workforce Committee, and I'm chairman of the Health, Employment, Labor, and Pension Subcommittee of that committee, so which basically gives me jurisdiction between Energy and Commerce and Education and Workforce, jurisdiction over the entire health system. And so both employer health and also all of the other government programs.
Congressman, I got to tell you, you mentioned the word economy. It kind of gave me a chill. I'm anxious about it. I don't know what these tariffs are going to do. Can you say anything to set everybody at ease?
Oh, yeah. Let me just give you a few statistics. Inflation is down. It was 2.14%, I believe, this last quarter. So we're doing well there. Obviously, we're working on the legislation to make an all-out energy policy for the country. That's part of my work. I'm on the Energy Subcommittee on Energy and Commerce. But the bottom line is the economy is in transition. And when I mean transition, you have to understand through COVID, and then of course the 4 years after COVID, under the Biden administration, there was $10 trillion spent and placed in the economy, in a $23 trillion economy. Now, that grows GDP, but the problem is unsustainable. We cannot continue to run $2.3 trillion deficit.
How long is it going to take before we settle down? Should we not check the stock market for a few weeks, few months?
Here's what's happening. Again, we're in transition. As we reduce government spending, which is an absolute necessity, we got to grow GDP. We are putting in place everything we did in 2018 to produce the greatest economy in the history of my lifetime. So once we get to that point and we're growing GDP, and you've heard of all the announcements of these companies bringing in manufacturing facilities.
Sure.
Taiwan, the chip industry, and others. That's going to be a huge boom for our economy. And frankly, like I said, growing GDP with borrowed government money is like standing in a bucket and trying to pick yourself up. It is the most ridiculous thing. It's unsustainable, and all the warning signs are there.
Are you a fan of tariffs, or do you wish that maybe we would try a different route?
I am a fan of reciprocal trade. Under the Biden administration, we are running a $1.2 trillion trade deficit. Now, it's good that the personal net worth of our country is about $200 trillion. But guess what? When we run a trade deficit, that money is flowing out of our country and enriching other countries.
Have you heard in your travels around the 12th District from farmers? Your presence on the Agriculture Committee is huge. Are they hurting, and can you or the government subsidize them to get them through this up and down time.
Absolutely. Here's the farmers' situation. They have been cut out of markets because of trade policies. Okay, these we are now an import agricultural country for the first time in history. We import more agriculture than we export. That is all because of tariffs placed on our farmers by other countries, mainly China. You know, they always want to punish the farmers. You heard President Trump talk about this last week. You know, obviously what he's doing, he's taking some of the tariff money that we are collecting, from China and other nations, and we are helping our farmers, get through the season. Obviously, it was a tough year for agriculture. The biggest problem in agriculture, though, is their input costs doubled. Same thing happened under Jimmy Carter with the high interest rates and inflation. In other words, Brad, we haven't seen inflation since 1982. If you're 40 years old, you've never seen inflation like we saw.
Let me hit some of these hot topics while I'm with you today, Congressman. First of all, let's talk about education. A lot of teachers watch the Means Report. There's talk of abolishing the Department of Education. Your thoughts on that? And would the states just take over at that point?
Yes, and that is obviously the government will continue to block grant. We did that with the when we authorized technical school education. We reduced the government's, at least the Department of the Federal Department of Education's role in technical education.
Gotcha.
Block granted it to the states, and the states are now very successful. We want to continue that with K through 12, and the reason for that is we want to put the power. We want to give the parents the power of education. That's where it needs to be.
Talk to me about border crossings. I know that was a big part of both sides of the campaign,
Yeah.
Democrats and Republicans. Are we making any progress on that front?
A year ago, we had 137,000 border encounters. 700 last month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huge
The
drop.
border is secure, and obviously, we want to increase funding for border security, build a wall, and you see everything that's going on with immigration in our country right now, how dangerous it is. And I'm happy to remind everybody that the first bill that President Trump signed into law was the Laken Riley Act.
I remember that. Yeah, early on.
Yeah.
Talk about the SAVE Act. The House just passed this, and it, if I'm understanding it correctly, makes voters provide proof of citizenship
Yes.
when they vote. Opponents, Congressman, say this is a barrier, and it'll keep a lot of folks from voting.
No. It came up about marriage and changing your name, but you tell me what you can do today without an ID.
Well, not much.
Nothing. Zero. I mean, you can't buy things. I mean, they're going to ask for your ID. You can't get on an airplane. You can't get supplemental nutrition. You can't get government benefits. You can't do anything in this country. And so, again, why would we want non-citizens to vote in an election? I mean, does that include all the embassy workers? Like the Chinese embassy? Guess who they're going? I mean, Bernie Sanders wants prisoners to vote.
Let me try.
How do you get prisoners to vote? You
No.
walk in and say, "Hey, we're going to set everybody free if you vote for me." That's not. And let me tell you, every communist and socialist country began at the ballot box. That's where it started. And that's where they're trying to take us.
Let me try to hit probably two more topics. We have about 90 seconds left. Y'all, Republicans, have the House, the Senate, and the White House. Why isn't your agenda just steamrolling through? And why are some of your own party defecting and saying, let's slow down a minute?
Well, we have a slim majority, okay? And again, we launched budget reconciliation last week before we left. And that's the beginning of what we did in 2018 to grow the economy. make those tax cuts. If we don't get this bill done, you're talking the American people are going to get a 22% tax increase, which will kill our economy. So steamrolling, let me tell you, there's a different pace in Washington today than it was a year ago.
Yeah, it seems
I can
like
assure you of that.
No, I'm seeing it.
And obviously on the defense front, you're seeing what we're doing. We got to open that channel. We're dealing with the Houthis. You can't. The cost of taking all of those ships around, and that's what they're creating more cost and burden on the American people when they can't go through that channel. And so all of these things are taking place, but obviously, again, they slow roll the cabinet. The cabinet's in place. He has, in my opinion, the most, the greatest cabinet in the history of any administration.
Last question, probably 30 seconds, and I ask representatives of both sides of the aisle this question: how can we help you here in the 12th District? How can we help you do your job?
Well, obviously, stay in touch. We need to be in contact. What I spend most of my time doing is telling people what is actually really going on, because a lot of people depend on social media for their information. It's not always accurate. And whether it be, what we're doing to make our country safe again. We have a lot of illegal immigrants here that are gang members, terrorists. We have declared, for example, the cartels on the Mexican border as terrorists. And we're going to deal with them. They have killed hundreds of thousands of people. We passed the Halt Fentanyl Act. We're passing very important legislation and what we call CRAs, which is a method that Congress uses to reduce regulatory requirements. And once that is taking place, the economy is going to boom.
Congressman Rick Allen, we did about 12 minutes for the 12th District together. We could stay together a lot longer. I really appreciate you fitting us in today, and he did. It was a busy day. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Brad.
Absolutely. Congressman Rick Allen, serving the 12th District of Georgia. When we come back, a man who is serving all of Augusta University, Dr. Russell Keene, on the Means Report.